Om Sarvadharmastapakastvam Sarvadharmasvarupakah Acharyanam Mahacharyo Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha. My salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, who descended on this earth to establish the Dharma and who is the embodiment of all the religions and who is the best among the teachers. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, the hymn which now I chanted, that is written by Swami Shardananji, the apostle of Sri Ramakrishna. There, he addresses Sri Ramakrishna, he conveys his salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, and he gives reasons, three reasons. One is Sarva Dharma Sthapakastvam, means Sri Ramakrishna has descended on this earth to establish the Dharma, means to re-establish the Dharma, or rejuvenate or renew. Sarva Dharma Swarupaka is the embodiment of essence of all the world religions. And Acharyanam Mahacharya is the best among the teachers, or is the teacher of teachers. So Ramakrishna Ate Namaha. My salutations to that Ramakrishna. Now, Swami Shardanandji is addressing Sri Ramakrishna as the teacher of teachers. Why is it so? Oh, because he is his disciple. Swami Shardanand is a disciple of Ramakrishna. So out of faith, out of emotion, out of respect, he might have addressed Sri Ramakrishna as teacher of teachers. That can be one of the argument can be, put forth by people. But when we study Sri Ramakrishna's life, we understand, no. It is not just out of respect and reverence, or it is not an emotical statement, rather it is a fact. Now, just to understand this Guru Shakti, Swami Shardananji himself, the author in the Sri Ramakrishna's divine play, in the chapter Sri Ramakrishna as Guru, 4th chapter, he makes a beautiful statement about the Guru Shakti, which was manifested in Sri Ramakrishna. And also we have seen in the previous class how the Guru Shakti was manifested in Sri Ramakrishna, from what context. It was not out of ego, pseudo-ego, or it was not out of because of name and fame. Rather, it was because of the cosmic I. Just to give an example, tomorrow is a National Youth Day in India, especially. That is the birthday of Swami Vivekananda as per the Gregorian calendar. So in India, across the country, a lot of programs and events will be celebrated. When Swami Vivekananda addressed in the Chicago's Parliament of Religions as sisters and brothers of America, we all know 3 or 5,000 people, they got up and they gave the standing ovation by clapping for 3 minutes. Why is it so? It is not that Swami Vivekananda is the first person to address as an opening address like sisters and brothers of America. As per the available records, it is said that there were few speakers who had addressed similar to that type of address. But why Swami Vivekananda received standing ovation, if you ask, the whole intellect, or the power of intellect paid his homage, paid his respects to the spiritual power. Because when Swami Vivekananda said sisters and brothers of America, it was not mere lip service. It didn't come from his throat, or it didn't come from his mind. It came from his heart. Because when he was addressing sisters and brothers of America, the Swami Vivekananda, who had experienced Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and he was able to feel everyone, each and everyone there, their own sisters or brothers. So out of that Nirvikalpa Samadhi experience, out of that Advaitic experience, we all are one, he addressed the audience as sisters and brothers of America. That is the reason it gave a spellbound effect on the audience, and unconsciously they got up and they clapped and they gave a standing ovation. So similarly, when Sri Ramakrishna took the role of Guru, it was not just because of any desire for worldly pursuits or worldly things, rather it was from the cosmic I. which was again the experience of the highest transcendental reality, and where his mind was between what do you say, between the transcendental reality and the world. Swami Shardanji tells very beautifully about this Guru Shakti, the exalted power by which the Divine Mother removes ignorance and delusion from human minds is called Guru Bhava or Guru Shakti, the nature or the power of the Guru. The scriptures declare this divine power to be the Guru and advise human beings to have faith in it and to offer wholehearted reverence and devotion to it. But a worldly minded person who has just started to learn to practice devotion and respect cannot comprehend or love an incorporeal power. Means he cannot understand basically this great power which is called Guru Shakti or Guru Bhava. So it is better to believe in this and also to follow the instructions of the scriptures as Swami Shardan is telling. Now, if you see Swami Vivekananda elsewhere, he makes a statement. A leader is always born and never created, which is most of us in a different way we might have heard. Swami Vivekananda says a real leader is never born, I mean, is born, it is never created. So Swami Shardanji takes this statement of Swami Vivekananda and he extends saying that the real Guru is born and is never created. Of course, in the present days and in the even in the history of the mankind, we get a lot of gurus, no doubt. Some are pseudo, some are fake, and all, no doubt. But we are speaking about real gurus, genuine gurus. The genuine gurus are born and they are not created. So when I say they are born, what does it mean? That means they are summoned by, they are commissioned by the divine power or the Almighty. And when Sri Ramakrishna accepted as a priest of Dakshineshwar Kali temple, by that time the Guru Bhava or the Guru power, the power of Guru, the power of teacher was started manifesting in his life. If we deeply read, first and foremost, we can see, I think elsewhere had mentioned this, when Sri Ramakrishna was probably 6 or 7 years of age, even when they're in his birthplace village called Kamarpukur, when there was a function, an event, in the event, all the scholars were sitting and they were discussing about the problem, the spiritual problem of the complex in nature. And students were, I mean, the children were playing, some of them were playing, some of them were mocking the body language of the scholars and all. It is very difficult to comprehend when for common people or even grown up, and then what to speak of children. But Sri Ramakrishna was sitting very closely and very intently, and he was listening the whole conversation. And where the scholars were not able to come into conclusion, but Sri Ramakrishna, in a simple way, in a sentence or two, he gave a solution for one of the scholar, and the scholar was astonished to hear this. And when the scholar presented that solution, the whole group of scholars, they accepted, and they were all astonished, and they wanted to know who is the person who gave this solution. And when they came to know about Sri Ramakrishna, they were all astonished. They were delighted and astonished and astounded. And some of them, they kissed him and they said, "You will be a great person in future." So this is one thing we can see here. And apart from that, when just he probably was adolescent, when Ram Kumar, when he saw his younger brother, that is Sri Ramakrishna, that is just spending his time, in hearing some stories or harikathas, basically attending some gatherings, holy gatherings, and doing nothing or studying nothing, or basically he's not building up his life, future life. Then Ramkumar discusses with his mother, age-old mother, and he brings Sri Ramakrishna to Dakshineshwar or to Calcutta basically. So that because Ramkumar himself was a priest and as well as teacher, so he thought he can teach him, and so that he can also learn. I mean, Sri Ramakrishna also can learn, and he can also continue his priest services, so that his breadwinning or taking care of family economically can be taken care. That was his intention. Few days he left free, then but Sri Ramakrishna didn't show any interest in studying. Rather, he was interested in doing performing pujas. with a devotion and with concentration. One day, Ramkumar asked Sri Ramakrishna that, why don't you learn? Why don't you study? If not, what happens for your future? And I'm really much cared about your future, concerned about your future, who will come and marry you, etc., etc. And a adolescent boy, Sri Ramakrishna says, oh, my dear brother, I don't want that education by which we can get some pennies or some food or whatever. I don't want breadwinning education. Then what do you want? I want that education or that knowledge by which I can realize God, I can experience God, or I can reach the God. Just a young boy, adolescent boy, Sri Ramakrishna, he told us, even he has not started his spiritual practice, nothing of that sort, but he told this to to his brother, uh, Ramkumar. And Ramkumar was astonished. And Ramkumar would have quarreled, he could have argued, he could have pressed him. But the interesting fact is here, the interesting part is Ramkumar was speechless and he had to accept Sri Ramakrishna's statement. So this is one more example where we can very clearly understand how the Guru Bhava was manifested in Sri Ramakrishna in a natural form. And also, one more interesting point for us work. When we have to, all of us, we have to work with their respective professions. And some of us we enjoy, some of us we feel okay, partially we enjoy, partially we feel cumbersome, burden, etc. But in Sri Ramakrishna's case, he was a priest, no doubt. And we have seen so many priests where they take the priest as a profession just for their breadwinning and for money and for name and fame, for power, position, whatnot. And there's also saying that for a priest, the idol is always the stone, never the God. Because he always stays in the proximity of the God, in the idol or in the temple. He loses that reverence, respect, unfortunately. But whereas in Sri Ramakrishna's case, if you see, he started his work or profession as a priest, no doubt, but he didn't stop himself as just as a profession as a priest. Rather, he he did his profession very diligently, no doubt, and very professionally, no doubt. Not only that, slowly, that same work, that same profession kindled spiritual hunger in him, and which made to reach the God or to experience the Divine Mother. So, how the work can take to the God, how through work one can reach the God, one can experience the divinity or God, is shown very clearly, beautifully by Sri Ramakrishna through his own life example. So, whatever profession we may take, through that profession, one can reach God, one can manifest divinity. As Nivedita says in the introduction to Complete Works, to labor is to pray. To labor is to pray. So that's the same thing we can see in the life of Ramakrishna. So you take any profession, never mind, but through that profession, one can reach God. That's what we see in the Veda Gita, which is the part of Mahabharata. Now, Sri Ramakrishna Swami Shardanji says in the 5th chapter, as a guru in his youth, as an opening statement, he makes a statement. When the master moved to Dakshineshwar and became a priest of the Divine Mother, his power as a guru became manifest within him to a great extent. Now, I want to say this is like a Siddhanta Vakya. So, this is a sentence which to be proved in this whole of today's talk. So, this we should keep in the background in our memory, and now we shall try to discuss. How it happened, for example, when Ramkumar became the priest of the Dakshineshwar temple, and because Ramkumar came and he settled here, because of him, Sri Ramakrishna used, as a being younger brother, once in a while he used to visit. And when the temple owner Rani Rasamani, a great devotee, and her son-in-law Mathurnath Vishwas, by seeing first time itself, without knowing whom he is, whatever his background, etc., somehow both of them were attracted towards him. Then afterwards, when they came to know that he's a younger brother of Ramkumar, who is the chief priest, their reverence and their liking got improved or increased. Then both of them, they discussed and they thought and they decided that somehow they should retain the Sri Ramakrishna in the temple complex in whatever the possible way. So they were waiting for a chance. And now somehow Sri Ramakrishna also smelt it. He understood that they want me to put the job, introduce me here by giving some job or whatever. Now you see, an adolescent boy or a young boy who will be interested in building his profession or career, definitely he or she will be moved by that. They will go out of the way to meet such people, the landlords or the rich people, so that they can get the job. And whereas in Sri Ramakrishna's case, he was avoiding that. But their attraction went towards them, interestingly. And some point of time, when he was approached that can you take the priest work, but initially he said no, 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 and he avoided it. But their reverence and their respect was increasing, no doubt. Then at some point of time, there was no other way. There was no other chance, no other, what do you say, except accepting the profession, or accepting the job or the responsibility. He didn't have any other way. He had to accept. He accepted it, no doubt. But though afterwards he accepting, but he never became an employee or employer in real state, in his mindset. Rather, he was always God-centered life he was leading. And the same Mathurnath was very rationalistic, and he was very thoughtful man, and he never used to accept anything simply. And he had his own understanding about the incarnations, where traditionally he also believed that Avataras means only Dashavataras. So only 10 incarnations of Vishnu's, that's all. There are no more incarnations. But when Bhairavi Brahmini declared that no, there are n number of avatars, incarnations, and based on the Bhagavata and all, and Sri Ramakrishna is also an incarnation, he took aback. He was astonished. He debated, and he called a group of Pandit scholars, and there was a debate, and finally he had to accept. And not only that, he had to accept, and he had to change his opinion about Sri Ramakrishna. And he had a vision of Shiva, and he had a vision of Kali, and he had different spiritual experiences by the grace of Sri Ramakrishna. All is during Sri Ramakrishna in his young age only. Because of Sri Ramakrishna's power, Sri Ramakrishna's grace, what happened? Mathurnath understood scriptures. Mathurnath understood about the God. Mathurnath had a vision of Shiva and Kali. And not only that, he had even spiritual ecstasy also. How that Guru Bhava, Guru Shakti was manifested in Sri Ramakrishna, we can understand. Maybe on the interesting note, probably, there was once theft in Dakshineshwar temple complex. So because there was a theft, there was an alarming situation, and immediately the information was sent to Mathurnath. Mathurnath rushed to the temple, and workers and the priest, everyone also rushed into the place. And Sri Ramakrishna also came. Interestingly, Mathurnath made a comment. What is this we worship him or her as a god? He is supposed to be protector of the entire humanity, entire world, and he is not capable to protect his own ornaments, which has been put on his idol. Then how can we believe? How can we believe that he can protect the entire world? He is unable to protect his own ornaments. Then how can he protect the entire world, including us? So when we hear, probably some of us, or at least atheists and agnostics, they will jump into a conclusion. Yes, you are right. See, God cannot, protect his own ornaments. Then how can he protect us? That's what probably we will all jump into it. But Sri Ramakrishna gave a different reply. Oh, my dear, you are speaking of these ornaments. They're of some value for you, never mind. But for whom the goddesses of wealth, Lakshmi Devi, is sitting near his feet, and she's pressing his legs. So if he wishes, if he desires, and how much ever the wealth can be filled by the entire world, so much wealth he can get it. And few, maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 strands of golden chain or whatever, the few golden ornaments for that, do you think that God pays any attention? God pays any value to that? For you, golden ornaments is very valuable to you, no doubt. But do you think that even for God also it is equally valuable? What nonsense this is you are thinking. So this is valuable to you, not to the God. When this statement was made by Sri Ramakrishna, Madhurnath understood how he was wrong in his thinking, and he asked sorry, he asked his apologies, and he corrected his thinking. So how Sri Ramakrishna corrected, I mean, people's attitude, people's thinking, how Guru Baba was manifested, we can see. And one more interesting is Bhairavi Brahmini, who was a nun. She was commissioned by Divine Mother to teach spiritual practice for three peoples. I think one is Chandra, the other is Girija, the third was Sri Ramakrishna. And this Bhairavi Brahmani, after teaching the spiritual practices for these two people, she was in search of Sri Ramakrishna. One day when she came to Dakshineshwar, and she was just landing on the bank of the Ganges. And Sri Ramakrishna sends his nephew, Rudayaram, saying that, okay, you go, there is a nun, there's a Bhairavi, she's coming, she's just landing at the temple or the Ganges Ghat. You go and tell that I am here and I'm calling, let her come. Ruday said, what? Who is Bhairavi? I don't know. And who are you? She don't know. And how do you say, are you making me a buffoon? Or if I go and say my mama, my uncle is calling you, she will come? So what nonsense all this is? Sri Ramakrishna says, oh my dear, please go and tell that I am here and I am waiting for her. Anyhow, but Ruday was left with no other option. He went and said, my uncle Sri Ramakrishna is in the room and he wants to see you, and etc. etc. And Bhairavi comes astonishingly without asking any second question. And she comes and she sees and says, as if they start conversing, they were a long associated friends. And she starts telling that, oh my dear, I was waiting for you. I was searching you here and there, everywhere. Now I found out finally you are here. Oh, they took aback and asked, how do you know that him? Oh, because I was commissioned by Divine Mother that I am supposed to teach the scriptures or spiritual practices or whatnot. And she made Sri Ramakrishna to practice Vaishnava Tantra Shastra and Shakta Tantra Shastra of 64 sadhanas. Now you imagine most of us or any individuals, spiritual advanced people, we take one, and that will itself will take a lifelong project. Maybe one or two or three or some lives we will take it to establish in that and to reach the God in that particular path. At the most, some prophets might have taken two or three, we don't know. But Sri Ramakrishna, in no time, he finished all the 64 Tantra sadhanas. Interestingly. And afterwards, Sri Ramakrishna helped his guru, that is Bhairavi Brahmini, to overcome her problems and to complete her sadhana. Her chosen deity was Balagopala. And she was a very traditional person, and she used to, every morning she used to get up, as a bath, and ritualistically she used to meditate, do so many japams, counting beads, and she used to offer food for Balagopala, that is Balagopala, and she used to do all that. And her sadhana got completed with the with the blessings of, in the presence of Sri Ramakrishna. And not only that, and she had a vision of his, she had no doubt, but as a living God completely, she had a vision of Balagopala. And not only that, she had a vision of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by Sri Ramakrishna. Or when she saw Sri Ramakrishna in the later days, she had a vision of Balagopala and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Sri Ramakrishna. So how that Guru Bhava is manifesting in Sri Ramakrishna, we can understand interestingly. One more is Totapuri, which we are taking class on Sundays. Previous week I have discussed already. Tomorrow also I'll be discussing. Interestingly, he is a person who had attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi. There are few peoples we also think in our lifetime, some of our friends or some relatives, maybe our brothers and sisters, our neighbors. Oh, he's a very lucky person. Why? He doesn't have any problems and obstacles. Whatever he takes, he gets accomplished. Whatever he touches, everything becomes gold. He's a successful person. So similarly, if you read or whatever the records available for us in Totapuri's case, he was also really lucky person. Because when he was before his birth, her mother had prayed to the God, if I conceive if I conceive if I conceive and if I give birth to a baby, male, to a son, then I'll be offering to the altar of service of God. And that's how he was born. And at the age of 5, he was sent to the monastery under the tutelage of the a great saint. At the age of 5 itself, he started getting his mold, his spiritual life. So no distractions. And when he grew up also, he was blessed with no distractions. So no distractions, no problems, no obstacles in spiritual life. But in spite of that, in the 40 years he took to have his experience of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So if you see his life, obstacles were few in number, or even we can't say that really there he had any obstacles. He did sadhana and he reached his goal, he reached his destiny, that is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And he was a star core Advaita Vedantin. He had a Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and every day he used to sit for hours together of meditation, and he used to go to Nirvikalpa Samadhi whenever he wishes. And he was always blissful in nature. The interesting part is, never he was morose. And he came to Dakshineshwar and he taught Sri Ramakrishna. He initiated Sri Ramakrishna into monasticism, and he taught how to practice Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And in 3 days, Sri Ramakrishna attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That we all know that. Then afterwards, interestingly, this Totapuri during his itinerant days, more than 3 days he never stayed. But here he stayed for a long time, for 11 months. And Bhairavi Brahmani stayed more than 6 years, at least as available records. This Totapuri, after some time, he started feeling that because of the contaminated water and the Bengal climate and etc., it was started telling upon his health. And he was well-built personality, he was very tall, robust and all. So he had a sound sleep, he had never problem with the physical, any health, digestion and etc. He was quite aged, probably 50 plus or 16 yearly. And he didn't have any health issues basically, even then. So, but because of the Bengal weather and the food and contaminated water or whatever, slowly it started upon telling upon his health. He understood himself. And he started thinking, I think now is the time for me to leave the Dakshineshwar. So morning he gets up and he finishes his meditation and he goes to Sri Ramakrishna to tell that, okay, today is the last day, tomorrow I want to go. He decides, he thinks, and he goes. Either when he goes to Sri Ramakrishna comes to Totapuri. In no time, both of them they start spiritual discussions, and somehow Totapuri was not feeling. He never used to feel that I will tell that today will be the last day. Most of the time he used to forget, and whenever he remembers, if at all if he remembers when he wants to tell, he used to tell, he used to feel, such a nice day today, or such a nice company of Sri Ramakrishna's company. It is so sweet and so holy. And maybe tomorrow I shall say that tomorrow will be the last day. And the tomorrow extended, it got extended. And finally, this poor Totapuri had a dysentery. And this dysentery was so much so that one day it was so much, and he had a blood dysentery and other things, and he had so much pain. He was unable to meditate, he was unable to sleep, and his body itself became so heavy for him. It was the first in his lifetime. And according to Shastra, we have to be very carefully understand this and note it. In the scriptures, they have said, suicide is a sin, no doubt. But who has realized God, who has experienced the self, that means he or she has done their duty. So if he or she doesn't want to live in the body, then they can leave the body at any point of time. So Totapuri also felt that any of this body has become a bondage, has become a really problem for me. Now I have reached my destination, I have reached my goal. What is the use of having this body? And he got up in the late evening or late night, and he went to the Ganges, and he want to, just end his life. Interestingly, if you have gone in Calcutta, if you see, probably it's a half kilometer, probably one side to other. And he started walking, and he reached the other shore of the Ganges, and still the water was till near knees, or just near the or maybe above the knees. He was very astonished. What is this? Today Ganges has become so less water. He was wonderstruck, and he was thinking, and he turned, and he had a vision. He had a cosmic form. He had a divine, he had a cosmic form. He had a vision of cosmic form of Divine Mother. And he was spellbound. Till yesterday, he was to make a fun about Sri Ramakrishna's devotion to Divine Mother. Whenever Sri Ramakrishna used to clap, and he used to sing Divine Mother's songs, and he used to make a fun. Oh, are you doing chapatis, rotis or pancakes? He used to make a fun. But now, and he used to never accept Divine Mother or Shakti. Now he had a cosmic vision, that universal mother's form, and he was spellbound. And then he understood why he was retained in Dakshineshwar for such a long time. Though he wanted to go, but some power was made him to stop there. Now he understands and he comes back. And but after the experience, or after the experience of the Divine Mother, his mind, there was some dysentery was there for 1 or 2 days, no doubt, but his mind was completely filled again with a bliss. And obviously his mind got elevated, and no more thinking of body and this dysentery or the physical pain. And in that divine ecstasy, he was there. And the next day, when Sri Ramakrishna came, Sri Ramakrishna was able to see that bliss and that peace and divine bliss and divine ecstasy in his guru's face, that is Totapri. Then Totapri asked, "My dear, shall we go to Divine Mother Temple?" So Sri Ramakrishna said, he took aback and said, "What? You used to make fun about my singing that are you making pancakes, and you want to go to Divine Mother's temple, my mother's temple?" Totapri said, "Yes, now I have understood who is she or what is she." Both of them very glad. I mean, Sri Ramakrishna was very glad. Both of them, they went, and they went to sanctum, and both of them were very happy. And Totapri was also very happy. He paid his respects, and he asked Sri Ramakrishna to sing some songs. And when he was hearing songs, there were tears were rolling down on Totapri. He could understand very clearly the role of the divine power, or Divine Mother's power, especially in everyone's life. Even see, we can understand very clearly how much ever we say, "I am that Brahman, I am not the body, not the mind," etc., etc. A thought or an incident or a situation can create a problem for us. Yeah, all our Vedanta, all our knowledge can go fly. That's where Krishna tells clearly in Bhagavad Gita, "Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyeya mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite." My maya is inscrutable, but it is divine, and it is very hard to cross over. It is very difficult to cross over. But whoever takes shelter at me, whoever surrenders at my feet, I will help them to cross over this maya. So that's what we can say very clearly. Totapuri was a blessed man. He didn't have any obstacles, but he was not aware that he had a grace of Divine Mother. As a result, his spiritual life, it was easygoing probably, or he had able to reach the, target or goal. Now we understood how Divine Mother's grace was protecting him at every step in his life. Then, after getting his sadhana complete, his knowledge got complete, which is called a sort of Vijnana. He took the. Then he asked Sri Ramakrishna, "Please ask Mother to give me a permission so that I will leave Dakshineshwar." And when it was asked, Mother Miss Divine Mother gave her consent, and Totapuri said bye bye. Said goodbye to his disciple Sri Ramakrishna, and he left. Now, here you see, this is the common example which we can see in all the incarnations. Same thing we can see in the Krishna's life also. Krishna went to Sandipani, and he had his teaching in no time. And while coming, he helped his guru. He helped his guru. So all the incarnations, if you see, they, even some of the prophets and incarnations, they help their gurus to complete their knowledge or to complete their spiritual practice. That's what we can see even in the Sri Ramakrishna. So all this as a young age in Sri Ramakrishna's life, it has happened. Now, same thing we can see even in the Gopalarima. She was an old lady. Of course, this, at the later part of Sri Ramakrishna's life. When she came, her sadhana got completed by Sri Ramakrishna's grace. And one more probably which can be thought over is Swami Turiyanji's case. Swami Turiyanji, as a young Hari, used to come to Sri Ramakrishna. All of a sudden, for some time, he didn't come. Then after a long time, when he came to Sri Ramakrishna asked, "Oh, my dear, I didn't see you for a long time. What is the matter?" Hari Prasanna said, "Oh, sir, I was busy, or I was engrossed in studies, in scriptural studies." "Oh, that's good, great." So all Advaitic books he was reading. And Sri Ramakrishna told simply, in a gradual manner, what your Advaita books are saying. Brahmasatyam Jagan Mithya, Jivo Nama Ivan Aparaha. The Brahman is real and the world is an appearance or illusion. And there is no essential difference between the individual self and the supreme self. It is that all your Vedanta is saying, isn't it? This is a statement which all of us we know. But when the Hari Prasanna, young Hari Prasanna, when he heard that, it made a incredible mark on his mind. Yes, I was reading Vedanta and books after books after books, but Sri Ramakrishna gave in the nutshell form. And he understood, yes, this is what Advaita Vedanta's essence, and I have to put into practice and I have to experience this. And interestingly, if you see, the same Turyananji, who was the greatest Advaita Vedantin, and when he went to Puri, in the eastern part of the India, in the Orissa, by Sri Ramakrishna's grace, he had a vision. He had a vision of Puri Jagannath, where Sri Ramakrishna himself appeared as Puri Jagannath to him. And even I think this reminds me, as even boy, Sri Ramakrishna, he was probably 8 or 10, 12 years probably. There was a family called Pine family. So Sitanath Pine, I think, is, if I rightly remember, he was a very good person, no doubt, but he was always egoistic about his family. So in the olden days, I mean, across the globe and especially even India, so any like higher caste people or higher graded people, and especially their women, were not easy to come out. They were supposed to put a thin cloth, and behind a cloth, they were supposed to talk with others. Except their own family people, they were not allowed to move freely with others. So the Sitanath Payne is to tell Bushli that even a male mosquito has not seen our ladies in our house. Sri Ramakrishna, as a young Gada, he heard that. There is no wrong in that, no doubt, but there was an arrogance, there was a pride, unnecessary, unhealthy pride in that. So young Gadai, he challenged with the Sitanath Payne that I will break this. Sitanath Payne challenged, even the male mosquito cannot enter in my house, then what to speak of you? Then young Gadai took it, I mean, challenged him and he went back. Then after some time, one young girl, she comes and at the evening and she says, oh my dear, can you give me a place here? I would like to stay here. So Sitanath Payne asks, okay, my dear, who are you? Why have you come here? And Sri Ramakrishna, male boy, is such a beautifully, he has wrapped with a sari, no doubt, and such a way he makes a statements and all, like, oh, I come from such and such a neighboring family, I mean, a neighboring town or village. I came for the market to sell, I mean, some commodities, maybe fish or something. Now, because of the late evening, I am unable to go now because we have to walk. So, if you don't mind, I will stay in this evening your house only, and morning I will get up and go. And out of, I mean, compassion or whatever, Sitanath Payne said, yes, my dear, you can stay. And obviously, I mean, the women were very happy because they got a new friend, so they can talk and they can discuss something and all. So she was, I mean, the young girl was welcomed. She was asked whereabouts, and she was taken. And she asked probably, "Let me see in your house." And their family people were taken into the every nook and corner of their house, and they were talking, etc., etc. By the late evening, Sri Ramakrishna's mother, Chandramani, told to his brother, I mean, Sri Ramakrishna's brother, look, Gadai has not come. Then Ramkumar or Rameshwar, they started calling, oh, Gadai, Gadai, and they were in search of Gadai. And in between, Gadai tells from inside, from this Sitanath Payne's house, oh, my dear brother, I am here. And they were, everyone took aback, and Sitanath Payne took also aback. The family people of Sitanath Payne took aback. And initially, Sitanath Payne was also angry, no doubt. But afterwards, Sri Ramakrishna made him understand why he did. And Sitanath Payne heartily laughed. And afterwards, there was some license, or there were some relaxation so that the women people were able to go out and mix with others. And so these are the very simple stories. It was very funny stories. But when we study deeply, or when you think deeply about it, how Sri Ramakrishna, our incarnation, is correcting the society, the thought process, the casteism or the rationalism, what do you say, different divisions we have got, either based on money, based on caste, based on religion, based on the skin color, all these things we see across the globe. Now, every incarnation, every prophet has tried to break this and to show the humankind these are not to be practiced. And interestingly, probably one more interesting, I think this is a letter written by a disciple or a devotee from America in 19, I think it is published in 1969 to the then president of the Ramakrishna Math and Mission, Swami Vireshwaranji. A American person, he writes a letter beautifully. Among that, this small excerpt I would like to paraphrase and tell that the letter goes like this. Oh, I am a humble man, humbler than the humblest. I don't know anything. And even I have not read any philosophy actually. But still, I only know I love Sri Ramakrishna and Sri Ramakrishna loves me. See, what a beautiful statement here. I have not studied any philosophy, and I'm sure that I have not studied any philosophy, and I don't know any philosophy. I only know only one thing, that I love Sri Ramakrishna and Sri Ramakrishna loves me. Why? Because during my adolescent or young days, I was in search of this divinity, divine principle, where it is, how it is, what it is. And whatever the paths which was available to me, I practiced every path. I made an experiment with every path, with every philosophy, but none of them gave a satisfaction to me. But somehow, accidentally or whatever, by his grace, I came to know about Sri Ramakrishna. And when I heard about him, when I started practicing his teachings, then my heart got fulfilled and my mind experienced the divinity or divine soul or supreme self or whatever. So that is the reason I cried for divine intervention. I cried for divine's help, and Sri Ramakrishna came to my rescue. So I love him, and he loves me. That's all I know. See, what a great what a great statement. And same thing we can see, I think, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells, Surdham Sarva Bhutanam. He is the friend of all. So Sri Ramakrishna is the friend of all. When we say Sri Ramakrishna as a guru, is the friend of all also. Yeah. So this manifestation of divinity, which I was speaking of, now when it comes to a very interesting, a very hard story, I would like to tell now. As a young Ramakrishna, his brother Ramkumar was doing the priest work, and after when he became old, Ramkumar took retirement, and Sri Ramakrishna was asked to do the take the this important work, that is a priest of Kali temple. Initially, he avoided. Afterwards, he couldn't avoid. He accepted with some conditions. Now, Rani Rasmani, the temple owner, and Mathurnath Vishwas, son-in-law, who is the manager, who is the overall supervisor of the temple, both of them are simply they are the fan followers of Sri Ramakrishna. Now, if in any case, in generally what happens if we get such type of people, we make use of it. We try to take some benefits from it. We try to take profits from it. But Sri Ramakrishna never made that. He kept quiet. And as a young Sri Ramakrishna, he has started his profession, that is a priesthood. And Rani Rasmani had come that day. And Rani Rasmani is a great devotee, lady devotee, who is the instrumental to build this Dakshineshwar temple complex. Why? Because Divine Mother herself came in a dream and she told that you build a temple for me, I would like to come and stay there. I would come and reside there. That means she's not an ordinary woman. Even from the external point, she's a great rich lady. She was well known. Even the Britishers used to fear for her, daredevil nature. And she is the owner of the temple. Now, when such people comes, how we behave? Of course, we have to behave in a particular way, no doubt. And Sri Ramakrishna was also probably. And one day, Sri Ramakrishna had finished his worship, and Rani Rasmani came, and Prasad and Arati was done, and Prasad was given to Rani Rasmani. Rani Rasmani asked, because Sri Ramakrishna was known for his singing, he had a beautiful musical voice. Rani Rasmani asked, Dear sir, would you mind to sing few songs for me? Sri Ramakrishna said, yes. Now, even he has not started his intense sadhana even now. As a young priest, we are speaking about now. Rani Rasmani sat near a pillar, probably, and Sri Ramakrishna, closing his eyes, he started singing. After some time, and there were few companions with Rani Rasmani, and probably some other gods were there little behind with Rani Rasmani. And Sri Ramakrishna is also, he has closed probably his eyes and he's singing. In between, Rani Rasmani also, she finished her japam while singing Sri Ramakrishna's singing and all. And that day there was a lawsuit. Unknowingly, unfortunately, her mind at some point of time, it got deviated from this devotion, and her mind started thinking about the lawsuit. What will happen to the lawsuit? Now, young Sri Ramakrishna, who had just started his profession, If you think from the worldly point of view, I'll be very careful because I have to build my life, I have to build my career, I have to go further in my career, and I have to be a bit careful about how I speak with my elders and my superiors, and especially CEO or manager of the company. Even if they do wrong, most of us we keep quiet. Why should I bother myself? All these things. Now, I'm not saying that we should not do that, but Sri Ramakrishna, contrary, he did what you know. Sri Ramakrishna, at some point of time, he saw her face. He saw her face, and he slapped her. What? Are you thinking same thing here also? What nonsense. Now here see. The employer is slapping the employee. What a daredevil nature Sri Ramakrishna had. The first is that. And the second thing is, Sri Ramakrishna has not started even his spiritual practice. How did Sri Ramakrishna, if she is absent-minded, yes, anyone can understand. Most of us, we can understand sometimes. But how did he come to know that she is thinking about the lawsuit even? Which is very interesting point here. How that Guru Bhava or the Guru Shakti was manifested in Sri Ramakrishna. It is a one more testimony. Now, okay. Now, sometimes we can see, even we do also, will be some of us will be there, and even some of the people also we see, oh, he's very straightforward, she's very straightforward, be careful with him, or we say. Or sometimes we do boast ourselves. I know, I am very straightforward. Whatever is there, I tell, I don't care for anyone. It is our strength and weakness too. But say if I do same thing for my employee, then what happens? I will get a love letter. Oh, thank you, my dear. Like, I'm probably, if not all the times, many times I may be kicked out. But Sri Ramakrishna never cared it. He slapped. And immediately there was a commotion there. And Rani Rasmani's, attendants, who were the lady attendants, they started shouting, and the guards and temple people, everyone started coming there, and the guards were about to catch Sri Ramakrishna and about to beat, which is quite expected. Rani Rasmani understood. But for just a moment, she started thinking two, three things. One, how did this young priest came to know that what I am thinking? She was astonished, first point. Second thing, she started feeling bad about herself. Yes, I came to temple to pay my respects to Divine Mother. Not only that, myself, I requested this young priest to sing songs, and I was supposed to listen. Instead of physically listening, no doubt, but mentally I thought something, I did a mistake. So though she's a temple owner, she's a rich lady and all, but she had that guts, she had that right nature to accept her mistake. Second thing. Third thing, she said, if anyone wants to stay here, if anyone wants to be not to be fired, or if anyone wants to not to be killed or whatever, then you dare to touch Sri Ramakrishna. Everyone was took aback, and everyone went back, and they started feeling astonished. What? He has slapped her, the owner, and instead of punishing him, she is supporting Sri Ramakrishna. What a great astonishment. Everyone were astonished, spellbound. They didn't understand. They kept quiet because the temple owner has given orders. Now, here is what, when I'm commissioned by Guru, when I'm commissioned by divine power, whatever I do, people accept. Same thing we can see in the life of Krishna. When Krishna asked that Vrindavan people not to worship Indra, instead of that worship Govardhana hillock, by which, because that is helping us, the village started following. The same thing we can see in the life of Buddha. In the name of sacrifice, in the name of different home yagnas, unfortunately, some places there were animal sacrifices. And some of them, they went to extent saying that animals are created just to offer to the different sacrifices. They went to that extent. And Buddha said, stop it, it is nonsense. And to the larger extent, the sacrificing of animals has been stopped. I'm not saying it is right or wrong, I'm not judgmental, but it has been stopped to the larger extent. And same thing we can see in the life of Jesus Christ. When Jesus Christ asked his disciples that to eat on Sabbath, because if you see in the Jews, for the Jews on the Sabbath, there was not supposed to eat. But Jesus said there's no sin to eat on Sabbath, and he encouraged his disciples to take food, and people started following it afterwards. So when the incarnations and the prophets and the real gurus, when make some statements, when they tell something, the entire humanity, the entire society starts following them. And whereas in our cases, in normal cases, it doesn't. How does it happen? Because they will be behaving, they will be acting not from the human level, from the superhuman level. Because their pseudo ego, their unripened ego, individualistic ego will be erased. The cosmic ego will be working there. Or the divine power, the supreme power, using them as an instrument, the supreme power is working. As a result, the entire humankind starts following it. So the real, the pseudo I gets diminished, and the universal I, when it gets manifested more and more, then we will become the fittest instruments in the divine hands. Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langayate girim, yat krupa tamaham vande, paramananda madhavam. This is the Dhyana shloka in the Bhagavad Gita. If yat krupa tamaham vande, if I get your blessings, if your what is a grace, divine grace, oh Krishna, what happens? Mukam karoti vachalam. Even a dumb person can give beautiful lectures. Pangum langayate girim. Even the lame person, physically disabled person, he can climb the mountains. So yat krupa tamaham vande, if your grace falls upon. So when the divine grace falls upon, then what happens? There will be miracles, there will be wonders. And how that happens? How that happens? When the pseudo ego or limited ego, unripened ego has been diminished, all the when that universal ego or cosmic ego, when it's manifested in him or her, he or she will be the fittest instruments in the divine hands, and all the miracles will happen. I think my Gurudev, Swami Raghunathanji, when he was declared that he will be the president of the Ramakrishna Matan mission, I think Swami Atmastanji, I think the next, he went and he said, Maharaj, you have been elected as a president. How are you feeling? And generally, Swami Raghunathanji was serious in his mood always, most of the times. He used to, but he had a very fine sense of humor. But he said, look, this is the real miracle of Sri Ramakrishna. This is the real miracle of Master. So Swami Atmastanji didn't understand. He said, Maharaj, what do you mean? You look. Because Swami Raghunathanji just he has passed 7th or 9th standard. He says, just 7th or 9th standard illiterate, a village boy who joined the monastery to cook as a cook. As a cook, now he has become the president of the international organization Ramakrishna Matan Mission. This is the real miracle of Master. What else can be there, he says. Now, why he was elected as the president of the Ramakrishna Matan Mission, if you ask, Swami Raghunathan said, it is only his will. So he had become the fittest instrument in his hands. Same thing we can see in his guru, Swami Raghunathanji's guru, that is Swami Shivananji. He is the second president of the Ramakrishna Matan Mission, apostle of Sri Ramakrishna. And he was elected as a president. Though Swami Abhedanji was there, who was a great literate, and he was a great pandit, and he had a return from America in those days, which was very rare indeed. But in spite of all that, Swami Shivanji was elected as a president among the trustees. Then obviously, I don't know, for some reason, Abhedanji was a bit irritated and angry and annoyed. And he started shouting on his disciple, his brother disciple. You don't know anything, and you can't speak, you can't give a talk, and you have made them as you have been elected as the president of the Ramakrishna Matan Mission in spite of me being here. So anyone will take aback, anyone will feel sorry, or they would have shouted. But Swami Shivanji says, yes, my dear, whatever you tell you, it is truth. It is true, no doubt. But why do you bother? Why should we bother? We are both of us brother disciples. Brothers, come on, we will go and have a cup of tea. When Swami Shivanji made this statement, Swami Abhedanji was shocked and tears started rolling down, and he paid his respects to him and he says, Tarakda, now I understand why you have been elected as a president of this organization. Why? There is no ego. Ego has been completely erased, and you have become the fittest instrument in thy hands, in Sri Ramakrishna's hands. So this cosmic ego was working in all the real gurus. And when I say Sri Ramakrishna as a guru, even before he starting his sadhana, this cosmic ego was unconsciously, was naturally manifested in Sri Ramakrishna's life also. So probably one more incident which I'll be taking the next thing. The same Mathurnath Vishwas, when he worshipped Durga Puja in his house, and on the Dashmi day, as we all know that as per the tradition, we take the mother's idol and we will immerse in the Ganges. Now, this Mathurnath Vishwas, who is grown up, probably was in 40s, probably, and he's a informed person, and he's a aristocrat and all. And he started crying as like a small boy, as a child, like, I don't want to say goodbye to mother. Just like any child, if the child wants to get away, he or she wants to say for a boarding school, then the son or daughter starts crying because he or she will be away from the mother or father, parents especially. So similarly, Mathurnath Vishwa started crying that I don't want to say goodbye to my mother, divine mother, so I will not allow anyone to touch my divine mother's idol to immerse. Now everyone were in fix, because as a nature, as a rule, so the Dashmi Puja afterwards, Mother, Divine Mother's idol should be taken and should be immersed. Otherwise, every day we have to worship, and lot of elaborate rituals has to be done. So their family people, their own wife and children, and maybe some other priest, and many people, they gave different arguments and different logics and etc. And Mathurnath Vishwas never accepted it. He only said, if you dare anyone, if you go and touch Divine Mother's idol, I will not spare anyone of you. Then everyone took aback, and out of fear and etc., they kept quiet. Then Mathurnath Vishwas' wife, she went and pleaded to Sri Ramakrishna, please, you have to help us and you have to do something. And Sri Ramakrishna came, and Mathurnath with crying, and he said, look, everyone wants to take away mother from me. Please, you tell them not to take. And Sri Ramakrishna didn't start, is a good psychologist. He didn't start even his lecture at the beginning itself. He said, yes, it should not be done. Like the separation of child and mother is differently, it is not good, definitely, no doubt. So it should not be. Then, then Mathurnath felt happy, and he got consoled. And said, my dear, you are saying that if mother idol is, taken and immersed, then you are saying that you will be away from the mother, is it? Mathurnath Vishwa said, yes, that is exactly I'm telling. Then he says, no, mother is in your heart. Why are you thinking mother is only in the idol? Mother is in the idol, no doubt, but mother is everywhere, and even inside the heart. In your heart, mother is there. Why are you not able to recognize it? When this statement was made, it is not that probably Sri Ramakrishna made this statement at first time. Probably other priests and other scholars would have made, but there was no effect on Mathurnath Vishwas. When Sri Ramakrishna made this statement to Mathurnath, Mathurnath accepted, and he started experiencing it, and he said, okay, then I will allow now for the immersion of Divine Mother's image or idol. Then everyone felt happy about it, relaxed, and Divine Mother's idol was taken, and whatever the ritual, as a part of ritual, it was done. So, like this, we can take a different examples in Sri Ramakrishna's life as a young, from the childhood to even the young part of Sri Ramakrishna's life. How in Sri Ramakrishna, the Guru Bhava, the divine power has been manifested. So may Sri Ramakrishna bless all of us, so that we shall also try to go further in the spiritual path and experience the divine, and we shall be the recipient of his great power. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.